Okay, we are in record mode and welcome. I'm Chrissy Key Rollins, if you didn't already know that. And I felt very called to do this training today because I just have got this real strong urging that will not leave me alone. So I'm following through on it. And what I am feeling super called to do for all of you that are really ready and interested in creating some really powerful shifts in your life and in your business and in answering your soul's calling. I just realized that I can't just bring to you the action steps. How do you create a business? How do you pin down that marketing message? How do you figure out that niche market that you focus on? How do you package and price your services? How do you engage in conversations that lead people to saying yes to your services? I can teach you all that stuff. But if I only teach you all that stuff, we're just kind of scratching the surface of what really makes business success happen. I can also teach you all the inner game, all the mindset stuff, how to feel better about yourself, how to have a more empowered experience of yourself, how to move out of fear and into confidence. But if I don't give you the action steps to go with it, then you're going to be sitting there feeling all empowered, but not necessarily taking the steps needed to really have that structure and that flow happening. So I have got this really strong calling on my heart to interweave both of these concepts and to bring to you a series very much like my 5-day Transform Fear into Confidence challenge, which I highly recommend. If you have not taken that, definitely check out the Consciouspreneur Club on Facebook and join this challenge. I start it the first Monday of every single month. It goes for 5 days, free, posted there in the group, and I welcome all of you to participate in it. And this challenge is so transforming. I mean, every single person that has taken it on, I think a couple of the ladies that are here live have gone through the challenge, or at least a few days of the challenge, and has really felt the power of it. I was like, let me take these concepts and let's do a deep dive. Instead of a 15-minute conversation on one little topic or one little focus, let's go ahead and go deep. Let's really bring not just the action steps that are needed, not just the mindset piece, but let's interweave these two together so you can see how firsthand, tangibly, with your own eyes and from your own experience, how self-love is a precursor to follow through. How follow through really does build your self-trust, how self-trust is the key to getting clarity, and how that clarity instantly leads you to confidence so that you can move forward whatever way that you really, really want to move forward. And this is where it gets kind of tricky because it's not just about replicating the actions. It's not just about creating a Facebook post that has a certain format or, follows a certain recipe or a certain formula. It's not just about replicating this structure. It's about learning how to become your own guide so that you know that the structure that you are putting into place in your business is the right one for you. So that you know that your pricing, your packaging is the right thing for you. And you're not just replicating what other people are doing. Because when you just replicate what other people are doing, it might make you sort of look like you know what you're doing. But if it's not coming from your own creation, there's always going to be a disconnect. There's always going to be a little self-doubt and fear that can creep in. And for myself, I know that there's a feeling of, I just kind of copied what somebody else was doing. So there's not a lot of ownership that comes behind it. And this is so, so key. I have seen so many people have this desire to follow your soul's calling, but then not knowing, what does that mean? What should I be marketing? What services should I be providing? What is the core of my message? What is it? What is my purpose? What is my calling? So it's like, I know that I'm supposed to be doing something more, but I don't know what that more is. So when we find ourselves in that spot, then we look around to see what other people are doing and we try to replicate what they're doing. But then we feel like a fraud. We don't have the years of testimonies and evidence and proof of other people that we've helped to get to this point. So how do you become an expert before you're an expert? How do you become successful before you're successful? And that is what I really want to bring to all of you. I want to show passive people how to create a big impact and create passive income in a really empowered and aligned way. I want to show you how to create residual income in your life that's a residual side effect of you being more true to who you are. And I want to teach you how to know yourself on a very intimate level so the greatest truth about yourself can be expressed out loud in this world in a way that makes you feel whole, complete, fulfilled, supported, equipped, and also brings a powerful transformation to everybody that you engage with, no matter if they enroll in your services or not. I want to show you how you can show up on a regular basis out of the sheer love and pleasure and joy that doing the work that you feel called to do brings to your life, and to help you to have a better relationship with yourself, with money, and with the world around you so that you can allow yourself to receive, so that you can support yourself in moving your mission forward. And I want to help you have a rock solid level of confidence. So no matter what your situation is, no matter if it's dealing with your business or dealing in your personal life, you stop abandoning you so that you can always be supported. You can know that you're always equipped, and you can begin to receive from life in a multitude of ways that you're not currently doing. I just want to show you that there's another way. And I want to show you how you can find this way for yourself, that there is a balance between leaning on what you're finding outside of yourself and also tapping into your own internal wisdom and your own internal guidance so that you can kind of marry these concepts, so that you can take on programs and not beat yourself up for not implementing every single aspect of them because you weren't supposed to implement every single aspect of them, and help you to see what is in it for you and help you to bring that into your world, and to just help you have a rock solid level, of course, of confidence, like I just mentioned, but also free you of that self-doubt, so that you can move past your fears and live into the life that you really, really desire. You know, this really hit me just last night when I was thinking about all this. How can you live a pleasurable life? Like that's what our vision is, right? For the future, that in place that we envision ourselves getting, that we think this business is going to be a vehicle to get us to, is this life of pleasure, where we do things for our pleasure, where we're with our family for the pleasure of being around them, that we can travel to different places and we can have different experiences, all for our pleasure. Like whenever I think about my envision, right, I see Candace nodding her head. When I think about that envision, it's a very pleasurable experience. So how are you going to have a pleasurable experience when you're currently not doing things that bring you pleasure? And when you're doing things to move a business forward that aren't bringing you pleasure and you're just using them as a means to an end, you're always going to be stumbling over things. You're going to have a more challenging time putting all those pieces together. And especially when you are doing the things that you don't find pleasurable because somebody told you that that's what you have to do. And within you, something's off, but you're trying to make yourself do it. And then you're either wrong because you're not doing it, you can't get yourself to do it, and what the heck's wrong with you? You must be lazy or whatever, not made for this. You know, I can't tell you how many amazing practitioners of various services. So when I say practitioners, I mean just anybody who has started a business for any reason, very skilled, very gifted, that have ducked out of the game because they're just not business people. They just don't see themselves as salespeople. And I think that it's time for us to learn how to receive so that we can move into a business that is really aligned for us. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be super simple. It could be so simple that in the next 5 minutes, I could literally tell you everything that you need to have in place for your business. And you would be like, wow, that's so simple. And it is that simple, but it's not going to be an easy journey for you if you don't love yourself, if you don't trust yourself, and if you are not aware of your immense worth and value that you hold independent of anything that you do for anybody else in the world. And I feel like there's such a need for this. I also believe I'm not the only person out there talking about this sort of thing. So I know other people are doing it. I don't know who they are. I would love to know who they are. But the majority of business training that I am finding these days is really centered around replicating somebody else's system, which is awesome. but that just doesn't bring the whole story to the table. Because if their system doesn't include how to deal with this and how to deal with this as you go through all of it, then again, you're going to be left with thinking that if everybody else can move through this and get results and I can't move through it, or when I do move through it, I don't get results, the problem must be me. And there's this perpetual thing that is happening with us beautiful, conscious, sensitive, big feeling entrepreneurs. We're almost addicted to reaching outside of ourselves for the answer and looking outside of ourselves for that next thing. We've done the internal work. We've done the personal shifts. We've cleaned up our self-talk. We've become better people. We're more aware of what we're putting out in the world. We're more intentional with what we do. We have bended and shaped and molded ourselves in all the ways that we possibly can, just waiting for this reward that should have happened already. And we're tired of waiting. We're tired of being stepped on. We're tired of being overlooked. We're tired of doing steps and not getting results. We're tired of fearing not being able to break free of our past. We are tired of feeling afraid to do something because it might not work out. We're tired of feeling like we can't invest in that area. One, because we don't have the money. Two, because we can't justify the money because the last money that we spent, we hadn't even gotten the results from, but we're still lacking something and we know that we need something. This is the cycle that we've got to put an end to, or at least shift ever so slightly so that you can get more of what you're really looking for from the process and make more of that impact in the world that you really desire to make. So if this is sounding like something that you really could use and desire in your life, I want to invite you to join me in a series of workshops. Lisa just chatted in and she said, so hitting home with a giant exclamation point. I feel the giantness of it, even though, font's only so big. She says, so hitting home. And I feel you, Lisa. Like I literally feel you, because this is what I have been living throughout my entrepreneurial journey. I just didn't realize that there was another option. I thought it was just a series of trainings until I could finally figure the F out and get over whatever problems this chick has in order to make it work. And when I took a step back and just thought for a moment, like, what if I'm not the problem? What if there's not a problem at all? What if I'm just on my way to this desire? And what if my success is inevitable? And what if the reason that I desire it is because it's calling me forward? And what if I can't fail at this? And what if I just surrendered all of my physical external self to being in service to my tender, unseen internal self that is bringing forth all these desires, and I make it her job to live these desires out loud in my life? Things started to shift for me. Things started to shift, and I started to look at all of this stuff from a different perspective. And I started to dig into, what's behind the scenes, what's behind the physical aspects of taking action. And I dove really deep into it, and I tapped into what is lying behind the scenes. And I brought that forth in my work, and it makes a powerful impact. But y'all are ready to integrate that next level. You need that business structure. Okay, so now that I'm cultivating this amazing relationship with myself, what do I do with it? How do I put it to work? How do I lend that into my business? And how do I create a business that feels good to me, that's aligned to the truth that I know about myself and the work that I'm here to do, is aligned with my joy and my pleasure, and also that is simple, that is replicatable, that has all those juicy components that all those external trainings have, so that I have a repeatable system for my own success. And that's where I think the real magic of this series that I'm going to be offering over the next several weeks, that's where the magic comes in. I'm going to show you how to connect to yourself. I'm going to show you how to better understand yourself. I'm going to show you how to begin to lead yourself in a very empowered way. And I'm going to show you very simple, basic business structure that is literally all that you need to create a business. And again, like I said, I could take 5 minutes right now, hit on all those points. You could start a business today. You could start making money today. Even if you don't have, 10 years experience and 100 clients that you've already seen that all give you stellar testimonies, you can start being an expert today. Take ownership over what it is that you're putting out there and start to get results today. It is that simple. I just know that the likeliness of you actually doing it is very, very slim because there's the concept of it and then there's the application of the concept. And those two things are very different. And anybody who has followed me, I know that you've heard me say this before. It's kind of like the realization versus the integration process. And for any of us that have been in this personal development, spiritual growth arena for a while, I know that you're aware of realization moments, those aha moments, like where you hear that teaching or you hear that insight or that little piece of wisdom that just expands you and you're just forever changed in that moment of hearing it. But then you go back into your life and it doesn't really change all that much. It's still the same thing that was there before. And now you know this concept, but you're not living the concept. And then you start to get out of alignment and everything starts to get a little bit messy. And that messiness is what we call the integration process. The integration process is much lengthier than the realization process. Realization happens instantly. It's expansive. It feels amazing. Integration, not so much. It hits you like a ton of bricks, and then it works its way into your system. And as it's working its way into your system, it's going to be working out all that stuff that doesn't line up with it, that doesn't match it, that isn't part of it, that you're ready to free yourself of. And it can feel like your world's falling apart. It can feel like you're doing everything wrong. And that's where I really love to support people, is through the integration process. It's lengthy, it hurts, it's confusing. And if you don't have that stellar relationship built with yourself, it's going to be a lot more painful, a lot more stumbling, a lot more unenjoyable than if you're aware that that's what's happening and can learn how to relax into the process. And that's what I want to bring to the table and what I will bring to the table over the next several weeks. So I'm going to take these same concepts. Again, Transform Fear into Confidence Challenge. It came from me reverse engineering action. Very curious as to why people take action, why I take action, and why people don't take action, why I don't take action. Even on the things that I really want to do. Like I really want to do some things, but then I'm not taking action on them. What's up with that? It got very curious to me. And when I peeled back that first layer of action right underneath the surface, I found that the sole determining factor on if we take action or not, it comes down to one thing and one thing only, and that one thing is our level of confidence. If you're confident, you'll do whatever. Kid throws up in the car while you're driving down the road, not something that you want to deal with, but you're confident that if you don't, you're going to have to deal with that stink and that you can do it, even if you're going to gag through the whole process. You know what I mean? I think that that's why life gives us these big upheavals, not to screw up your day, but to show you how capable you are. You didn't know that you could clean up a whole 1.5 liter bottle of wine that shattered on the floor until it shatters on the floor, and there you are having to clean it up. And when we can see that these mishaps happen in our life just to show us how equipped we are, how capable we are, it gives us a completely different experience. And when you can understand that you either take action or don't take action because you're either confident that you can do it, you can survive it, you can succeed at it, or you can not look stupid doing it, or don't take action because you lack confidence in one of those areas, then you can better assess where you need to put your attention and where to put your training to. So if you're not getting results from what you're doing or not doing in your business, you can take a look at where are you confident and where are you not confident, instead of, well, what's this procedure just doesn't work for me. Let me go learn something new. Let me go learn something new. Now the magic happens with the integration process, but you're only going to integrate to the degree that you feel confident about. So when you find yourself stopped, just look at confidence. Where are you lacking confidence? How can you build your confidence? Where do you need to put your attention in order to have more confidence so that you can move forward, see something through, what have you? But confidence is just that outer layer. And I reverse engineered it all the way back to the core, because I was like, okay, well then where does confidence come from? And where does that come from? And what's at the core of it all? And I found, just like I share in the Transform Fear into Confidence Challenge, that at the core of all of it is self-love. Self-love is the determining factor on everything. You will do to the degree that you love yourself, just like you do to the degree that you love your loved ones. I do things for my daughter that I would not do for other people because I love that child in ways that, it's just not possible to love other people. So being able to bring that same level of love into my life has allowed me to do things for myself that I wasn't doing before. And it allowed me to change a lot of things. And it really impacted, to me, self love was like the missing piece in my puzzle. And once I put that piece in the puzzle, I mean, instantly things started to shift. Within, instantly, in the sense of within 24 hours, my world started to change. Within 30 days, my client count started to change. Within 90 days, my bank accounts totally changed. Everything started to change. And the only thing that I changed was I started cultivating a deeper level of self love. And I think that that's what a lot of us really need to integrate. We've got so many pieces, but those pieces are not going to fully connect until we add in that self love. And then when we add in the self love, we can start to bring all of ourselves on the journey and no longer push and hide away parts of ourselves that we're embarrassed by, or that we're afraid for other people to know about, or that we're feeling shame around that's causing us to kind of keep ourselves back. This is where, you're new in business, you feel this calling, maybe you feel a calling to do a service for people or to monetize a service that you've been doing for people for free on the side and for friends for a while. But how do you legitimize it when you don't have a piece of paper from a university or through a program that says, here's your permission slip to go and rock out this service? How do you find that ownership over the work that you do before you have all that outward validation to kind of back you up and to have that tangible proof that you can make this work? And I want to show you how you can cultivate an amazing, amazing foundation of self-love to help to build your ability to follow through on things, because that's exactly what the Transform Fear into Confidence Challenge does. It takes you from cultivating self-love, helping you to see how self-love is the determining factor on whether or not you're going to actually follow through. So if you're somebody who trips over follow through, you can sign up for some more trainings and get some more free opt-ins and downloads over how to set up your schedule or how to, tackle the tough things that you need to tackle. Or you can begin to love yourself and cultivate an amazing relationship there, in which you naturally, as a natural side effect of this partnership that you're cultivating, follow through on your desires, because it's the natural step that you would do for a loved one. And as you start to build that follow through and get in the habit of follow through, guess what starts to happen? See, the sun's even getting brighter and it's making me glow because I'm hitting on the richness of this, right? That follow through is where you start to build your self trust. It's where you start to leave your doubt behind or feel the doubt and do action anyway. Because if you don't trust yourself, it doesn't matter if I train you on how to put together a marketing message that allows people to self-select into your services. It doesn't matter if I train you on niching down your audience. You will never pick a marketing message and you will never pick a niche if you don't trust yourself to just take action on one of those things. And that self-trust, it is so paramount, because you're never going to hit a point where you stop doubting yourself. You're never going to hit a point where you're free of fear. You've signed up for the human experience, and that comes with all the emotions. And you are not going to learn this life to a point that you're immune from the human experience. So you've got to understand and shift that relationship and experience that you have of yourself. So as you're going through all the emotional things that come along with this crazy ride that we're on, you don't abandon you in the process, even if other people do. Where you can learn how to support yourself through the process, even if those around you are doubting you and are not supporting you through the process. Basically, what I'm going to do through this series of trainings is I'm going to take away every single excuse that you have as to why you can't succeed right now, who you are, where you're at, and with the support that you have or don't have in your life, with the money that you have or don't have in your life. The top reasons that I hear people say that they can't make their business work is because they don't have enough time, they don't have enough money, they don't have enough support around them, or they don't know enough of what they're doing. And I want to show you, how can you have more time? This is a possible thing. If you're somebody who struggles with time, in this series, I'm going to teach you how to take that time back, how to begin to be more productive in shorter periods of time. And so that when you do have a little period of time, the action that you take, you can have confidence that it is an aligned action, that it's an action that is going to attract, and that even in your non-action, you will still be attracting. So that way you don't have to continue to doubt yourself. Well, should I do this post? Should I make this comment? Do I make this offering or do I not? It frees up so much of your energy so that you have more time, you have more energy, you can get more done in less amounts of time. I work less now than I ever have before, and I still make the same or more money than what I have in my past. And it's not for any other reason than I just am more intentional with my time. I trust how I'm going to use my time. And I don't even show up 100% of the time. I still have intentions that I don't follow through on. I still have times that I go to take action and I doubt myself and don't do it. But I have a different experience of me whenever that happens, and life gives me a different experience. And plus, when I free up all of that push pull stuff within myself, I have a lot more time and a lot more energy, a lot more focus, a lot more resources. And as I learn to partner with myself and support myself through this journey, I find that I actually have limitless support. I have limitless resources, but I'm never going to be able to tap into them if all my vision and energy is cluttered with all this confusion, self doubt, negative self talk, shooting on myself, confusion, not trusting myself, or trying to force myself to do things that don't feel good to me because I just feel like if I don't do it, then I'm going to miss out. But then I force myself to do it. It feels like crap and I didn't get any results anyway. And then it just starts this whole downward spiral. Am I still hitting home with you ladies? Yeah. It's time for some relief. Dare I say, it's time for some reprieve. It is time to set right something that should have never gone wrong to begin with. It's time to give yourself some relief. It's time to give yourself some breathing room, some space. It's time to give yourself some permission to be awesome and to step away from waiting for other people and other entities to tell you it's okay to move forward. I will be your permission slip. I will be your permission slip to shine brightly, to be brilliant, and to succeed in this world. Come along with me on this journey. Lisa says, oh yes, I am hitting home with Lisa. I see Candace nodding her head there. So I know that I am definitely hitting on some points within us. I want to show you how to surrender to your soul's calling. I want to show you how to answer your soul's calling. I can't tell you how to answer your soul's calling because we're all very unique and individual, but I want to show you how you can tap into that internal wisdom so that you know how to answer that soul's calling. I want to help you find clarity around what your purpose is, what you should be doing. When we talk about purpose, y'all are going to be like, pow. That's my specialty, by the way. I like to blow minds and open hearts and expand awarenesses. When we start talking about clarity around purpose, y'all are going to love this. Love it. Because, there's so many trainings out here. This is how you find your purpose. This is how you find your niche. I think these trainings are great. I love them. They're amazing. But if you don't have that foundation of self-love, self-trust, and self-worth in place, you're never going to trust yourself to pick the right niche and to have the right marketing message. And if you're just doing it as a means to an end, even if you hit on the right words, you're not going to have the same results because your energy behind it is going to be off. It's going to be off. This is something you can't fake. The whole fake it till you make it. I even tell people that, but not in the act as if while you internally feel like you're lying to everybody. Not that. We gotta stop that. Stop that fake it till you make it. And try this fake it till you make it. Why don't you fake that you can't fail until you take enough action that you prove to yourself you won't fail? Fake that until you make that, not this fake that you got it all together and you got it all perfect. Because one of my mentors, he calls that being a rose garden with a sewer underneath. It looks pretty from a distance, but when people get up close, something starts to stink. And if your lack of confidence is around your ability to deliver your goods, people will begin to associate that lack of confidence with your ability to deliver those goods. And there will be a disconnect and they won't trust you. You know why they won't trust you? Because you don't trust you. Not your ability to deliver, but everything else. But they don't know where your mistrust is. They just feel it. So even if they know you, even if they like you, even if they consciously trust you, they still won't sign up with you. They will still pay twice the amount to work with somebody else right after they told you they can't afford to hire you. And you will forever think it's because that person's more amazing than you. And that's not it. Because you know you're amazing. I mean, like, just stop and think about yourself for a moment, especially in relation to the service that you want to bring to the world. When you do this for people, it changes their life. It makes a huge difference. You are amazing at what you are amazing at. But if that is not what is leading your marketing, what's leading your interactions with people, it's going to get lost in translation. And it's going to be confused with all this other self-doubt and worry and anxiety and fear, even when you can get yourself to take the action. So you're either going to feel that anxiety and fear and not do it, and then shit on yourself and feel more horrible about yourself in the process, or think you got to quit or take a job or sacrifice what your heart really wants. Y'all, just think about this. Nobody else is going to show up and make sure that this thing gets what it wants. It didn't show up in anybody else. It showed up in you. It is your calling. It is your mission. It's what you were designed for. And this thing chose you to do it through. And if this thing has grand desires and it chose you, if it trusts you, maybe you should trust you too. Maybe. And this series is my invitation to you to step into this way of thinking, to step into this way of being, to just for the next several weeks to say, what if? What if I'm getting this calling for a reason? What if I'm the only one who can bring that wisdom through? What if no awesome chick can do it for me? I'd love to do it for you. I think it would be so cool if you could sit in front of me and I'm like, okay, this is your calling, this is your business, this is your marketing message, now go do it. But that's not how it works. I could say, why don't you try this? This sounds good. Why don't you go see what happens with this? This sounds good. Only you are going to know. But if you don't trust yourself, if you don't love yourself, and I don't mean like check self-love off the proverbial spiritual growth to-do list and then keep on trucking to the next awesome thing, shoving parts of yourself away, telling yourself to be quiet and to change. That's not loving. Self-love isn't, I know that I should work out, and when I don't, I feel like a piece of shit. That's not very loving. That's not loving at all. Loving is, I know that I should work out because I feel amazing whenever I do, but even whenever I don't, I'm still awesome. High five me. That's self-love. That's amazing. When you can get that down, everything else gets easier. But while you're getting that down, I'm going to give you some action steps that you can be doing. So you don't have to wait until you got a solid level of self-love to, know what to do in your business. I'll give you some things that you can play with, some very feel-good, easy, simple things that are just going to help you to find clarity, to gain confidence, and develop some consistency. Because sometimes we're on it. Sometimes we feel this way about ourselves, but it's about feeling this way about ourselves consistently. And if you want life to bring you consistent results, you got to be consistent in your life. And chances are, if you're not having consistent results, you already see that you're not being consistent, and you're probably thinking it's for some external reason or something fundamentally is wrong with you. And I'm just saying you're not consistent because you're in the habit of being reactive instead of proactive. And I want to switch those habits. But you're never going to show up and do what you need to do on the front end until you love yourself enough to do that. Or at least that's been my experience. So I want to help to take you through these same concepts. I want to help you to understand how you get to clarity. I want to help you to understand how you get unshakable confidence. I want to show you how you can build consistency in your life. And it's not just with a system that's going to set you free. It is with an internal game and an external expression that goes hand in hand together, that will be a go-to protocol that you can just implement over and over and over as you continue to evolve and you continue to refine and you continue to grow as a person. So this isn't a come in, we're going to fix you all these different ways and then shoot you out the other side, change person. This is come in, I'm going to show you how you can implement these things. I'm going to show you how you can do these things for you. And I'm going to show you how this is an ongoing process so that you can set more realistic expectations that don't have anything to do with compromising what you really desire. How cool is that? I think it's cool. I'm kind of into this stuff, if you hadn't noticed. Kind of my thing. So yeah, so I made just a few notes on a couple of things that I know that we're going to be hitting on through the series. I want to introduce you to your sweet spot. That sweet spot where your soul gets so nestled into your physical self and your physical self is so aware that it's carrying this beautiful, amazing soul self, that your soul can just whisper to your external self what you need to be doing, and your external self just shows up and does it. Where you can't stop yourself from promoting yourself, where you're not even thinking about promoting yourself because you're so busy talking about what it is that you have to do, because you're that aligned with what it is that you have to do. And again, that's not something anybody else can hand you. Sorry, I'm so sorry to tell you that. Sorry, not sorry, right? As the kids say these days. Because I know you want it to be a template that you can download and you can just fill in the blanks. I know that you want it to be that way. And I'm going to do my best to keep it as simple as filling in a template, but I'm going to help you to craft your own template. I'm going to help you to find your own rhythm, your own flow, and most importantly, how to trust yourself so that you'll actually explore your own rhythm and your own flow. Because the key to success is not replicating what I'm doing. It's not. It's not just following the actions that you see those great leaders taking. And if you think that that's what you have to do and you know that you can't do what they do, you might not love live streaming like I do. This might not be your comfort zone. I feel amazing when I get off of a live stream. It feeds me. It's like air to me. I'm pretty sure I would sit here and just talk to myself if y'all weren't here. And I think that that's a clue as well. You've got to love it. It's got to be like air. It's got to be like breathing to you. It's got to make you feel amazing on the other side, if you're going to show up consistently to do it. But you're not going to do that if you think that it has to be live streams and you hate getting on live streams in front of people. It's not going to happen from a certain formula of typing out a post on Facebook. It's all about the energy that you bring to it. And it's all about trusting yourself through the journey. And it really is about understanding you're immense. I can't even bring enough words to explain to you how valuable you are, and how that value has nothing to do with how much money you make or how many clients you have or how many followers you have or how many likes you got on your business page or followers on your Instagram. Like, none of that is your value. None of that could ever accurately represent your value. And if you think that that's what shows that you've made it or not, it's just going to be more of a struggle than what it has to be. None of this has to be a struggle. None of it. None of it. It can be easy. It can be very simple. And that's what I want to do. It's to interweave. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm committed to doing for you, is to show you, how do you integrate the mindset? How do you integrate that business structure so that you can have just this, it's almost like a skeleton structure for your flow to go. It's going to have some similar components. I mean, we all know you got to tell somebody what your business is. You got to be able to say what it does. You got to be able to identify who's it for. I mean, these are basic things that no matter how organic your business is or how corporate your business is, these elements are in place. It's just a fact. It's how we interact with each other, interface in this physical environment. Those things have to be there. But what does that look like for you? What is your structure? What is your flow? And how do you tap into that so that you can keep that flow going? And again, maintain this confidence that you always have a place for that flow to go. And that's what I want to bring to you, is to help you get in touch with your own sweet spot and how to create that structure that is right for you so that you're not just replicating what other people are doing, without replicating the results that you see them getting. Sound good? Okay, so all these pieces are still coming together because this is how I create things. I've learned that this is where I tap into the most potent power and energy is once people start to engage and the ball starts rolling, the next piece always reveals itself. Hint, by the way, for anybody who creates stuff in their business, you might want to try this method. I find it to be much more effective than sitting here thinking. I need to put together a series, so what could I possibly put it on? So I hope that through delivering this series, that's an example in itself of the creation process. I do my best to be a living example and to really take ownership over the example that I set for other people. And I think part of the example that needs to come forward is that this isn't perfect. This isn't perfection. This is struggle. This is painful. This is feel good. And this is not so feel good. And hey, Miss Angie, I see that you just joined us. So welcome in. I want to show you through my own example that the most powerful part of you is the most vulnerable part of you, and how to bring that vulnerability forward in an empowered way, because that's the difference. That's the difference with vulnerability. You can't bring it forward in a victimized way and expect to attract followers that are going to support and move your mission forward. You got to bring it forward in a very empowered way. So how do you know what vulnerable pieces to bring forward and what to leave behind? Again, I can't tell you, but I can show you how to tap into that for yourself. And that's what I'm going to do over this series. We're going to go into all these same concepts that I covered in the Transform Fear into Confidence Challenge. How do you build that self-love? How do you cultivate consistent follow-through? How do you build a rock-solid level of self-trust? And how can you have unshakable confidence so that you always know that what you're saying is the right thing to be saying? So you always know that what you're doing or not doing is attracting results that you desire. And how can you really live into that pleasure-filled, aligned life that you really desire and that you came here for? Like, that's your calling. How do you get that clarity? How do you have that confidence? And how do you have that consistency? And I would love to, since I've been going on and on here for almost an hour now, I'd love to open up the line if anybody wants to jump out and just share, any thoughts that you have given what I have just shared with you. And if there's anything in particular that you would really love to learn through this series, I want to craft this series hand in hand with you. So if you want to follow through the series, I want to know what you want and I want to be able to deliver it to you. So if you are in a place where you can unmute yourself and you do feel called to speak out, I would just love to know in your own words, how is this landing for you? Any aspects you love drawn in? What do you want most? Please feel free to step out. I'll tell you what I have heard from people so far is number one, consistent income. That's what all this whole series is going to lead to. Consistent income. That's my top priority to demonstrate through this series. The other things that came up on the radar for a lot of people in my group is taking that action despite your fears and gaining clarity on just what the heck you're supposed to be doing. And with that, having the confidence to know that you can see your vision through. And with that, I'm definitely going to sprinkle in, how do you, overcome distractions and procrastination? How do you feel supported whenever you don't have a supported spouse or partner in your business? How do you feel like an expert and really own your work before you have, that 5 web pages of testimonies from every single person on Facebook? How do you establish that first? Lisa says, this is going to be amazing. Yes, it is going to be amazing. It's really going to be amazing. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, sorry I was late. I did my first group health coaching now, so that was good. But, I always I think every coach or whatever you do needs a coach. And so to me, that's what you are to me. And I take that so seriously. And so almost any training you offer, I'm going to hop on to, so I didn't hear everything you had to say, but, I would say the things that are fearful for me is, I have this group now, but now how will I get more people? How do I keep the momentum going? And then also the feeling of loneliness from working out of your own home. I'm a new empty nester. That's probably what it is. I'm just feeling all sorry for myself. But, you know, just working from home and keeping that sense of community,
Yes.
I
I love
guess,
that.
is something that I know I'm thinking about. But, and yeah, just what you said, all that you said, procrastination, motivation,
Those
all those
distractions.
things.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
We're so in sync. We're literally saying the same words at the same time. I love it,
Oh,
Nancy. I love
okay.
that. I love that you touched on that isolation and that solitude. I'm really glad that you said that. You're not alone in that. Yes, you have that whole empty nest thing going on right now, so you're probably feeling it even more. But entrepreneurship is one of the most isolating and solo endeavors ever, ever. And especially this wave of entrepreneurship where we're doing online stuff, we're the only person in our business. Even if we partner and team with people, it's it's a very unique isolating situation, and isolation is one of the great obstacles in our path to greatness. It's one of the first things that will derail us and take us away from our power. This sense of I'm the only one feeling what I'm feeling, I'm the only one going through what I'm going through, I'm the only one who can understand what I'm going through. And I think that that's part of the veil that is being dropped right now, or is being torn away, is this idea that a successful entrepreneur never feels these things, doesn't have these things going on in their life, they've overcome these things, these just aren't problems for them, when in truth it's an ongoing struggle for all of us. And I'm the type of person, I'm a Capricorn. And for anybody who knows anything about astrology, Capricorns, are you also? Okay, so we're very self sufficient. It is a predisposed thing, quality within us to turn inward to problem solve. And it's very isolating. And it's something that I have to consciously work towards, allowing myself to receive, so that I don't create this whole little island where it's just me doing it all, feeling it all, responsible for it all, trying to figure it all out. Yeah, so I can really relate to that. And I know that anxiety is a real struggle for a lot of people. And that anxiety and depression, because there's so much shame in our society around these things, and because we do tend to isolate ourselves when we're feeling these things, and this isn't an open conversation that everybody's having, although they should, because we're having open conversation about what medications you're on and what isn't working for you. um, I think that that's more the conversation that needs to be brought into play. And that's part of the relief that I have found with cultivating a deeper level of self-love, self-trust, and self-worth in my own life, is that it helps to alleviate not only the anxiety and self-doubt that I go through and the fears that I go through, it also helps me to stop feeling so isolated and keeping myself isolated in a very non-serving way, because we're embarrassed to show up, and it's like I don't want to show up till I feel great, and now I'm not showing up, so now I feel even worse because I'm not showing up on top of not feeling good. And it's just a cycle that for myself, I really believe, Angie, and I know you're going through that final round of the 21-day money power shift. It was definitely one of those things that to me goes hand in hand with my ability to receive and allowing myself to receive. It's like a muscle that got strengthened as I was receiving. How do I reach out and allow myself to receive support from other people and stop the cycles of isolation, even when I don't feel like I'm ready to engage with other people? It's very interesting, and it's very subtle, and it can definitely trip us up a lot. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that, and I will absolutely work that into the conversation, because you're not alone. I mean, empty nest or not. I mean, I have a 4-year-old daughter who's hanging out downstairs right now, and I still feel totally alone in this. So I feel you. And I really love that you hit on that, how to find and build your tribe. I'm going to do some work on that. I am for sure going to talk about that, because I know that I touch on that in the 5-day Transform Fear into Confidence challenge. But I want to go like a little bit more in depth and really talk about not just those ideas of finding that tribe, but syncing up with that tribe, cultivating that community, how to grow that community, and how to move out of fear that you have to keep it all going, but instead allow it to be something that cultivates and grows itself. I'm definitely going to do, if not in this series, I'm definitely going to be doing a training around Facebook groups, how to create a Facebook group, how to have a high level of engagement in Facebook groups. I feel like I've pretty much got that one mastered now, although I know my group's still a baby at around 350 members. We're just getting started, but the power and the energy that's in that group, I know I've really tapped onto something there. So I want to teach you how to create a group, why you create a group, and why not to create a group, because creating groups isn't for everybody. So I want to touch on all of that for sure. Did you want to add anything else, Angie? Okay.
No, I'm just agreeing with everything you're saying, and like so excited to know.
Yeah, I know, right? There's part of me that's just like, just start spilling all the goods right now. But I'm like, no.
That's all right.
Yeah. I really wanted this to be just kind of informational. As I shared before you got on the line, Angie, this whole series is going to be very organic. It's going to come together one piece at a time, but this is the overall feel that I'm already getting around it. It's definitely going to be around that clarity, the confidence, the consistency, how to interweave the inner game and the outer game so that you can balance the masculine and the feminine, so you can have a more just balanced experience of yourself and alleviate that self-doubt. Gosh, self-doubt just it's like the plague in the entrepreneurial world. It's what holds us back. And even if, again, we're taking the actions, but it's got all that self-doubt riding with it, it's just mucking everything up. And we are so intuitive, we are so empathic, we are so energetically sensitive and aware, we don't even know that we're doing it. But that's why you scroll past some of those Facebook posts without even reading it. It's because you know that they're just doing it to get you to opt in and to select, and it's just such a different vibe. Even though somebody who seems to follow the same exact format, it has 153 likes, and everybody's clamoring to that feed, but I did the same thing, and why are they got this and I don't have that? If we think that it's us, we're going to be missing the mark. The difference is that person is not doing it as a means to an end. They're doing it because they're committed to getting this out into the world at all costs with nobody interacting at all. And because they're willing to show up in that way, everybody shows up. It's very fascinating how it works. All right. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here. And thank you if you made it to the end of this replay. I'm very excited about this series. If you're watching this in the replay, if it's not obvious already how to sign up and get started and being a part of this series, definitely reach out to me. I will make sure that you get plugged in, because right now at the recording, everything's not set up. But hey, there's your very first lesson. Do it before you're ready. Put it out there before you have all the pieces into place, because a lot of the pieces that you really need for your formula is not going to show itself until you're actually in the doing process. So this whole idea of get it perfect and then it launches, I'm just gonna erase that whole mindset and set in this whole idea that you can feel your way to your success. Your success is calling you home. You feel it. You can see it. You can sense it. I mean, the images that come to your mind, it's not just your imagination making up something cool. It's your intuition giving you a preview of what's to come. And from that space, you have everything that you need within you. You just got to trust yourself enough and build that relationship with yourself to be able to bring it out, and then have somewhere for it to flow once it starts to come, because it's going to come. And it's going to come fast. It's going to come really, really, really fast. I mean, especially compared to all this desert searching, oasis searching, desert wandering that so many of us have been doing for the last 10 years, as we've been applying and integrating these spiritual concepts that are helping us develop a really kick-ass spiritual ego that is now standing in our way. And we need to stop trying to kill off the ego or get out of our own way and learn how to immerse all of ourselves into what we're doing. And it's just going to make some really, really powerful shifts for people. Angie says, thank you. No worries, love, about you being late. And I love you too, Angie. You're so sweet. Thank you. I don't even know you, but of course I know you. I know. It's so wonderful. And Angie says, if you're not embarrassed by your first draft, you've launched too late. A quote that she read the other day. Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. I totally get that. And that's something that I teach in the Transform Fear into Confidence Challenge, and that you'll hear me say a lot throughout this series. You don't know how to adjust your aim until you fire. And most of us are like, ready? Okay, I'm going to go get ready some more. Okay, now I'm aiming. Now I'm going to aim some more. Now let me go back and get ready. And now I need to get ready more. And let me aim. And is my aim on? And I don't know if I'm ready. And I don't know if I aim. You got to fire. You have to just shoot. You just have to put it out there before you ever know, did I hit the mark? Did I not hit the mark? I have no idea whenever I post anything if it's going to be something that people are going to engage with. Sometimes they don't. Lately, I've been getting pretty dang good at getting some interaction. But what has shifted inside of me is not me replicating other things. It's just I've tapped into something that's too good to hold back. And I trust myself and my ability to deliver it, flaws and all. And that is a total game changer. And that allows me to adjust as I go. It allows me to relax on the front end. It allows you to trust me more. And this is the way I'm looking at this series. You know, this old model, the old sales training is you got to build your know, like, and trust factor. If people know you and they like you and they trust you, they'll buy from you. But in this world of multi-level marketing and online businesses, and everybody's a coach and everybody's a Reiki master, healer, trainer, teacher, voodoo maker, right? When we're in this space, there's a lot of people that know us and that like us and that trust us, and they're not buying from us. So I'm here to say, what if the real power of the know, like, and trust really comes when you know you like you, and you trust you. And when that happens, you really become unstoppable. It is just a completely, it's a game changer, because you begin playing a different game. Instead of playing the game of doing in order to get, you play the game of relaxing and allowing and receiving. And let me just tell you firsthand, that game is way more fun than the other one, because the other one left me feeling very frustrated, very ill-equipped, always not enough, because I wasn't as awesome as my leaders, and I couldn't get the same attraction as I saw other people get. And I was doing all the dues. Oh, the energy, oh, the time, the money that I poured into trying to get something outside of myself that's been in here the whole time, right? But I don't regret any of that, because all of that was well worth it, and all of it taught me skill set, and all of it allowed me to practice these things. So now, as I am listening to my internal self, I can trust my external self, because she knows what to do. She's been making Facebook posts for years, so she knows how to do it. And now it's just making that partnership of my internal self and my external self, and allowing that to move me forward, independent of not having a team, independent of not having, you know, all this stuff outsourced, and just knowing that it's what I came here to do, and being bold enough to do it. It's crazy. This whole ride's crazy, but I love it, and it's so worthwhile, and you can't not do it. You know you can't quit. You know you can't go get a job. I mean, of course you can, but you know you're not going to be satisfied. You know you're going to get sick again. You know all this chaos is going to keep happening until you just follow your heart. It wants you, and it's time to come home. Angie says it's so inspiring. I totally agree. It's what keeps me going, for sure. See, I just created a whole business around it so I can stay submersed in this all the time, and it really helps to shift your mindset. So if you want to have powerful mindset shifts, create a mindset-based business and talk about it all day long, every day, and you'll shift your life for sure. But it is my intention and my commitment to you to bring you simple business structure, simple ways to connect to yourself. And I know that if you've made it through the replay and have stayed on the live for this long, that you're really ready for this. So trust yourself, because I trust you. I trust you fully. And you've got nothing to lose except for a bunch of fear and self-doubt and BS stories about yourself that are just for the birds. Oh, Lisa says this is why we love you. I love y'all. You ladies are just beyond inspiring to me. This whole mastermind community, y'all are literally making my dreams come true. Like, I had this vision for this group of people who really wanted it. Just they really, really want it. And they're willing to put a little bit of skin in the game to stay connected to high-end content, high-end community, high-end mindset community. And I think there's just over 50 people in the community right now. And I know that's getting ready to shift because we have some beta testers in there. A handful of them aren't sticking around. We love you. It's okay. We'll love you even though you're not sticking around. And I'm so glad that you came and that you played and that you found the value while you were here. And we have some new people coming in because I'm getting ready to reopen. And actually, I'm glad that I thought of this. I am doing a pre-sale right now. So if you're watching this retail before September 1st, I'm doing a pre-sale before my early bird special for the official launch of the 21-day money power shift. I am bringing it back as an official program as I promised. And I'm doing a pre-sale right now. So it's 1/3 of the price that it's actually going to be whenever I launch it. So if you got anybody who's interested, definitely let them know. You can get in right now. I'm doing it for $111. And if you don't have $111, but you really want to do it during this pre-sale period, I'll let you do half of it down. So $55.50 gets you in, and then 30 days later, you just do the other $55.50. So no excuses. And for you beautiful mastermind members and 21-day beta testers, if you refer somebody who comes in on the program, I'm going to give you a 20% referral fee. So you can actually earn money by referring to this program. And in 2 weeks, whenever I launch the early bird special and it really starts getting out there to everybody, higher investment, higher referral fee, more fun for everybody. So it's really beautiful how this whole structure has laid itself out to me. I'm excited to present it. I'm going to be talking about it softly here with our inner group during the pre-sale, and then I'll start to stretch my branches out a little bit for the early bird special. But if y'all help me to promote it, you help to bring people into the program, I'm totally going to compensate you right back in return. And thank you for that so much, because I know that you all felt the power shift. Yes. I know that you all felt that power shift. Y'all cannot go through this 21-day program without it changing your life. It's just not possible. Not if you actually watch the videos. Yes, your life will stay the same if they just show up in your inbox every day and you don't watch the video. What's really cool is that if you watch the video and integrate it, total game changer. But if you just watch the video, in fact, if you just read the email, game changer in itself. It's pretty powerful. Once you're exposed to these concepts, you can't unexpose yourself to it. It will change your life. And it will always be there in your inbox whenever you're ready to dive in deeper or return to it. Like half the people from the first round of beta testing signed up for the second round of beta testing. Most of the people that are coming out of the second round of beta testing are already saying, okay, I'm just going to start over again tomorrow on day 22 because I'm done with it. And some of those from the first round of beta testing, they're just doing it over and over again. They finished the 21 days and they started again. And she says, my relationship with money is completely changed. Money is my friend now. Yes. I realized after a few months of really living this power shift, because, I lived it in my life. I put it together as a program and I put it out to y'all. I was like, okay, if this works for me, I think this will work for other people. And then witnessing, so I had already integrated it into my life. I was already feeling the effects. I passed it on to y'all. You started to integrate it while I'm still integrating it, and then seeing the effects that it had on y'all just sunk it in that much deeper for me. And now 3 months into the first initial talking of it and offering of it and putting the pieces together, I realized all these years I thought that I wanted money. All that I wanted is to feel the peace of mind that I feel now, regardless of the number that's on my bank account. All that I want is peace. That's it. And that's why for us conscious entrepreneurs, when you are feeling this push-pull relationship with money, I don't really want money. That's why you feel that way. You need money in order to support yourself because that's the exchange that we use in our economy and in our society is what we use. But we don't fundamentally, we know on an authentic level, we don't want or need money. What you want, what you need is peace of mind. And that starts with self-love and awareness and understanding what is really happening. So if you're somebody who feels anything other than peace of mind whenever money comes into the equation or crosses your mind, or you go to the mailbox and there's that unexpected bill, if you don't feel at ease, consider this 21-day money power shift. And if you're watching this preview and you can get it on the pre-sale 111, please If you go through this power shift and you don't feel the effects of it, I'll give you the money back. I mean, it's that good. The money is just something that has to happen in order to make this exchange all happen. It is, to say that it's a value is, there's just not even enough words to explain how much value you get for this $111. And in a couple weeks, it's going to be doubling to 222, and then it's going to triple to 333, and then that's it. That's it. I'm going to cut it off. I think October 1st is going to be the deadline for getting in on this round. We're going to start October 2nd. It's a Monday. You're going to go through the full 21 days before the holidays hit. Imagine going through Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's without stressing about money or worrying about it. Oh, cannot even imagine. Plus, well, I mean, I can't imagine because I'm living it, but I can't imagine the effect that it can have for other people. That's just such a beautiful gift. I couldn't imagine a better gift to give. And then plus with that, you're going to get support through the rest of 2017 with the mastermind. That's a bonus that I'm adding on to it. I mean, it's basically like prepaying to be in the mastermind for the rest of the year and getting this kick-ass program along with it. Or vice versa. I saw what you just said, Angie. You said that's awesome. And I totally, totally agree. And even if you wait, even if you're not sure, even if you want to go through this workshop series before deciding if you want to do that, because we're going to knock out all this workshop series before the 21-day power shift gets started. That's how I roll. That's how I'm going to do this. If you wait until the end and you do it for 333, that's still an amazing deal, and you still get support through the rest of the year. And you won't even know it until later on, but you'll be setting yourself up for an amazing opportunity come 2018. I can't tell you all that it entails, but you'll be leveraging yourself in a very powerful way that is so worth your time and investment. Plus, you're going to get so much value from that power shift by itself, plus all the other master trainings that are in the community, plus all those people. It's just amazing. It really is amazing. And you can see how it's hard to what do you price stuff? Because I can never put a price that's ever going to encapsulate the value. So I just decided to keep it a no-brainer. And those that are really ready will see the value of it. And those that aren't ready, that's okay. I still love you anyway. Keep doing whatever it is that feels right to you, because that is the right thing for you to do. And I love you anyway. So, okay, enough talking. I got to go. This is a forever long video. If you watch this in replay, bless you for hanging in there for so long. I appreciate you, and I hope that you follow along with the series. Again, if it's not obvious how to sign up for the series by the time that you watch this, just get in touch with me. I will add you onto the list. I will make sure that you don't miss it. I'm going to be starting it next week, but even if you find this video, weeks from now, and the series already underway, I'll still get you plugged into all of it. So you're not missing out on anything. And you're in the right place, and I honor you. I honor you for showing up, for staying the course, because this is not for those that are faint at heart. These are for those that are really committed, and you don't have to be that type A driven, do whatever it takes in order to get success. You can do it in a way that feels good, that is aligned, that is true and authentic to who you are, so that you can just be more of who you are in this world. And all that income, all that business is just a natural side effect of you being you. And that is the sweet spot. And I want everybody to experience that. And that's what I'll be bringing through this series and beyond. So thank you for being here live. Thanks for being in the replay. Lisa chimed in and said, absolutely worth it. Lisa is another 21-day money power shifter. And I know that she's really feeling the power and the effects. And these two ladies right here that I just mentioned, Angie and Lisa, they both went through it as a beta program. They were in the mastermind community for the support that I offered during the implementation of it. And they're both sticking around. They're like, this stuff's so good, we're sticking around. And if it is the right fit for you, you're going to know it instantly. And if it's not, then I just appreciate you for exploring the option. And I'm excited to bring this series, so stick around. It's going to be so worth it. All right, love y'all. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and I will be seeing y'all around the block. Bye.